All right, hey, what's up, YouTube? I'm making this video because I've been watching videos on CBN, which is the Christian Broadcasting Network, news channel on YouTube. These videos are infuriating. If you know anything about what's going on in the Middle East right now, specifically Palestine, to watch the propaganda, the Israeli propaganda on this quote-unquote news network is insane. To anyone who watches, even if you watch 2 or 3 other news networks, whether they're right-wing, left-wing, and then you watch this, again, quote-unquote news network, it's just mind-boggling to believe that there are folks who maybe watch or who definitely are watching this channel, this YouTube channel, and believing this Israeli propaganda. I've been, to give some history, before I get into the main meat and potatoes of my video, I started making comments on the comment boards or the chat boards of these videos that are being put out over the past week, not even really, like the past 4 days, I think. I started making comments. And a lot of these videos, what was upsetting me the most, what upsets me the most about these videos and what I was commenting on was the amount of Israeli influence in this Christian broadcasting network. I doubt we're ever going to find a Jewish YouTube channel or any sort of Jewish outlet with the amount of Christian influence that we're finding on this particular channel. As far as the way that the Israeli influence is just trying to dictate how the viewers of this channel think, especially about Israel, again, to me, is just mind-boggling. I don't sugarcoat stuff. People that know me, and as you're gonna see in this video, I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit, all right? I'm gonna put it out there. If our country is paying for a genocide and Israel's committing that genocide, I'm going to say it. I'm going to call it like I sees it, and I'm going to say what it really is. And that's what's happening. Anyone that's been watching what's going on in the world, that's not just plugged into one Christian network, one outlet, that's plugged into reality, understands the severity of what's going on in Palestine, in the Middle East right now, at the hands of the United States aid to Israel. So I watched this video about Halloween. We'll go back to the video. Or I'll pause that. We'll go back to the video I'm going to comment on, but this is just how this kind of started. There's this video called Ex-Psychics Halloween Warning, Ouija boards, tarot cards, and the targeting of kids. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like, are these people really going to start lecturing Americans about the dangers of Halloween decorations when we as Americans are paying money to fund a genocide in the Middle East? Is this really at the top of this channel's list? Because I really want viewers to wake up and see how silly it looks that they're worrying about things like, Halloween decorations and Ouija boards, when their tax money is actually, it's indirectly funding a genocide. And yes, the United Nations believes it's a genocide. You don't have to believe me. You can look it up. In fact, I'll do it right now. If you're one of these people that watches this channel and you don't believe me, I'll look it up for you here on Google as I'm making this video. Israel's committed genocide in the Gaza Strip, UN Commission finds. This is the United Nations website, folks. It's the first thing that pops up in Google, okay? And it's right here. You can read it yourself. This is not anyone, I'm not making this up. I'm not some leftist that just decided to make up that Israel's committing a genocide. Well, okay, I may be some leftist, but I'm not a leftist who's just making up that they're committing genocide. It's there, guys. Go to the UN. If you're a Christian and you really care about Jesus' message of helping people, of at least not killing people, folks, even if you don't want to go out and just help people and make it your life's mission to be a perfect replica of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, at least don't hurt people. At least don't pay taxes towards what the UN considers an actual genocide. Folks, the UN is a secular organization. If a secular organization is accusing Israel, a religious ethno-state, of committing genocide, you have to really ponder how bad that looks. It's not like you have a religious organization accusing some atheist or secular nation of committing genocide. Folks, the only nation right now that's in the UN's watch for committing genocide is an ethno-state, a religious ethno-state that the folks here at CBN, an American Christian Broadcasting News Network, are actually funding. They're helping to fund the genocide. These people are actually serving as propaganda for Israelis who, by the way, don't give a shit about American Christianity. They scoff at the idea of even believing in Jesus in Israel. I've spoken to Israelis. I used to work with Israelis. That's not for this video. That'll be a different video. But folks, I know for a fact from my own personal experiences, I'm in my late 30s, all right? I'm almost 40. Let's just put it that way, folks. I've met enough people, including Israelis and Jewish folks, to know that they scoff at Christianity. And not only that, folks, I'm part Jewish. 3%, 30 thousandths, okay? 30 thousandths, yes, that's me, okay? I am of both Ashkenazi and Sephardic, yes, both Ashkenazi and Sephardic Jewish ancestry. On my Ancestry.com DNA, yes, I've got the Levant right there. My ancestors, you go back far, not even too far, but definitely 3,000 years ago, yes, those are my ancestors. I had a lot of ancestors living in that part of the world. And I'm telling you that even if I wanted to be anti-Semitic, even if I was doing this because it's just not possible, right? The KKK is not taking my ass, guys. I'm sorry, it's just not a thing. I'm Hispanic, I'm part African, and yes, I'm part Jewish, folks. So I couldn't be a part of the KKK if my life depended on it. I'm not making this video because I'm some anti-Semite who woke up one day and thought it would be fun to be anti-Israeli or anti-Semitic. Folks, it's just not a thing. I'm making this video because really, there is actual Israeli propaganda going on, and it's not going on Israel. Perhaps there is some going on directly on Israeli and Jewish channels. I don't know, but I can tell you for a fact that there's definitely Israeli propaganda being fed to Americans through Christian networks like CBN. I can show it to you, but this video, it's called Ex-Hamas Wife Encounters Jesus in a Miraculous Dream. This woman's name is... I'm going to put it up on my screen again so we can look up who they have on their show. They have a woman whose name is Juman Al-Khawazmi. Okay, it's a beautiful name. And I'm going to take it. We can copy and paste that straight into Google here. And let's see what we get. All right. We're going to look up this woman. And there's the first thing you're going to notice that the source. So this woman who is apparently an ex-Hamas wife, we're going to be introduced to, okay? When you look it up, the only video source that you find in Google is CBN. It is this video on this channel, on this CBN channel, okay? A former wife shares her incredible journey from Islam to Christianity after encountering Jesus in a dream. So the one thing you'll notice is, they've got Hamas, ex-Hamas wife. So we're supposed to, obviously people are going to see this and be like, oh my gosh, she'll know all about Hamas. She's going to know all about Palestine and how it is in Palestine and all the evils that they do. But then we're going to find out a little bit more about her. Oh, and also, again, before we even start watching, folks, plug her name into Google, okay? And, well, where else do we see her? Let's see. Embracing the power. So let's open this. This is Instagram, right? So the second thing that pops up on our Google, it's Instagram. What do we see? Okay, so we see some, these are hostages, I guess. So here's an Instagram video of some hostages being returned to their family. And it looks like, I don't know if this is true, but it looks like this may be her. I'm going to try and zoom in just right so we could see if this is her. This looks like it was a week ago when they released some hostages, or maybe the last remaining hostages. This post, it does have, it looks like her name, Juman Al-Khawazmi. So it looks like here, what I found was, and that does actually look like her. I'm looking at the video again on my the video of her on YouTube, and you could see kind of her face right here. And that does look like the same woman, same name. So this is an Instagram post that we find her in. So again, a Google search of her, first thing that pops up, the video that we're about to dissect. Second thing, embracing the power of tears of joy, which is actually just maybe something she commented on. And it looks like it's just a video of Israeli hostages returning. And then here's another one. It looks like Instagram again. If we click on it, it says, sorry, this page isn't available. The link you followed may be broken or the page may have been removed. Go back to Instagram and voila, that's it. Let's look at maybe something else. Okay, yeah. So her name, it looks like she may have made a comment in this video. Okay, this is a video about, oh, who knows? I'll click on it just for the hell of it. Again, this is Instagram. She was laughing at an Instagram TikTok video. Okay, so I'll go back. Here's another one. So it doesn't look like this woman, folks, it doesn't look like this woman, it does not appear that this woman has appeared on any other interviews other than this interview with this one dude on CBN News. If I'm wrong, please someone prove me wrong, but I'm actually scrolling through Google right now. I've got her name here and nothing here. Actually, you know what? Let's even, just to be more specific, I'll go to the top of Google and I'll type in her name, and then I'll even type in the word interview. Or excuse me, I don't have my glasses on because of the glare. I know how to type and I know how to spell. Sorry, folks. But let's put interview, and again, here's another one. Jake on X. So this is something, oh, Jake, look it. Jake actually posted the video that we're about to watch. So again, there's a video right now, as I'm making this video, and I'm about to post it because this is what I'm posting right away. But as I'm making this video, it's been a day since it was released by CBN News. It does not appear that there are any other videos or any other interviews from any other news sources with Miss Juman Al-Khawazmi. Okay, so just for the record, folks, just so if something winds up getting posted and they say, oh, Mike Petrowski's full of shit, well, let's see. I mean, Mike Petrowski may be full of shit if that's the case, but the evidence that I'm full of shit certainly isn't going to be this, because I'm making it very clear right now that I've done a Google search. You folks can do a Google search. Today is October 25th of 2025. It's been, you could see right here when this was released. October 24th is when the video was released on CBN, and if you go to Google and you do a Google search, you will not find this woman right now in any other news interviews, let alone on major news networks like CNN or Fox News. We would love to hear her, right? And you'll see, I watched the video, obviously, folks. I'm about to start playing it now, but I just wanted to put it out there that as of right now, CBN is the only network that has her on. Let's go ahead, let's dive into the video, and you guys will start to see, well, you could already kind of see why I'm a little bit fishy about this, because I find this a little bit fishy. Well, of course, I mean, this woman just suddenly appears on CBN, Christian Broadcasting Network. There's Israeli propaganda thrown into this video, and you're about to see. So without further ado, let me get to the meat and potatoes of my video, and let's analyze and let's see what you folks think about this.
You were once married to a member of Hamas inside Gaza, but what happened next is a story you have to hear to believe. But before we get started, my friend, what was your opinion of Christians and Jews growing up?
I think it's hilarious that this gentleman, the very first thing he asks her is, oh, growing up, oh, you were married to a Hamas person. By the way, growing up, first thing I want to ask you, what was your opinion of Jews and Christians? That's the very first thing he asks. You know, what's really hilarious is I had made some comments. I mentioned here when I started the video, I had been making some comments on some other videos about the fact that it's Muslims that believe Jesus is going to return. You realize that it's Muslims who are also going to be looking forward to this event with you, right? You realize that when Jesus opens up the clouds or when he returns, it's going to be Muslims, not adherents of Judaism. Folks, it's going to be adherents of Islam that are going to look at you and celebrate with you. They also happen to believe in Jesus. So keep that in mind. It's not going to be adherents of Judaism. Again, I've known adherents of Judaism. I've known people from Israel who also happen to be adherents of Judaism. I am part Jewish, my DNA. Guys, I have fucking everything. I'm a mutt. It's hilarious. I'm going to make another video about that. But right now, just if you don't believe me, put it in the comments. I'll make another video. I'll have my ancestry up. But the point is, you're speaking to someone who actually has the DNA. I can talk. And what I'm telling you is that the reason this guy is opening this conversation up with, hey, what did you believe about Muslims what did you believe as a Muslim about Christians and Jews? The reason he's opening up with that question is because he doesn't want you to think that there are a lot of Muslims in the Middle East who are really close and really loving towards a lot of Christians because they both actually believe in Jesus. He does not want you to understand that the only Abrahamic religion right now, pretty much in the Middle East, that does not accept Jesus and that scoffs at Jesus Christ and the idea that he's anything more than just some crazy dude who called himself God, are adherents of Judaism. He doesn't want you to know that. And of course, he brings a woman here. We don't know anything about this woman. She's a random woman. I mean, yeah, she looks Middle Eastern and she sounds it, and we're going to see. But all we know is that right now he brings her up. We just know that she used to be a Muslim. And the first thing is, or what did you used to think about Jews and Christians when you were a Muslim? That's his first question.
Okay, I had born and raised in Qatar.
This is Google Maps. I'm doing this as I record. This isn't just some libtard lib doing some crazy magic to make you think she's not from Palestine. Folks, she's not from Palestine, okay? She just said she's born and raised in Qatar. This is Qatar. It's in the Persian Gulf. It's actually on the Arabian Peninsula. It's right there. This country is called Saudi Arabia, for those of you that don't know, okay? Israel is here. This is Palestine, or what you would call Israel. Guys, the fastest route, 1,387 miles.
Okay, I had born and raised in Qatar, and my father is one of the founders of Hamas. So my father and my mom, they raised us to hate Israel and hate Jewish, hate Christian, and even hate the Shia, the Muslim, the Shia, and hate everyone who's not belong to Hamas and curse them. And yeah, I just want to say sorry, but we used to curse all the Christian and the Jewish. We feel like we should kill them because this is what Quran say. Yeah, I know it's crazy, but we used to believe in Islam.
So of course she's giving into it. Yeah, the Quran it hates. It teaches us that, you know, if you're not Hamas, that we hate you and we should hate you and blah blah blah. Of course she's gonna feed into this, right? This is what they want you to believe. The far right, AIPAC, Israel, they really want you to believe that every Muslim is like this woman. They all grew up, even though, again, this is not in Palestine, but they want you to believe that every Muslim grows up hating Israel, hating the United States, just because the Quran says so. It's just like fun for them. I mean, there's no actual reason other than the fact that we're free and they just hate us because it's fun. Maybe people watching CBN, if that's all you've been watching, you may not know this. But Qatar is an ally of the United States. So this woman that they're presenting to you as someone who's going to, I'm assuming they want you to believe she's knowledgeable on this subject matter, and she should be convincing people of how evil this whole Islamic culture is in the Middle East. She happens to be from a country that we, if I recollect right, even help with military training. Oh yeah, U.S. announces it will allow Qatar to build an Air Force facility in Idaho. So check this out. We're so close to this country, to this nation. They're such an ally. They're one of the countries that we're actually doing this with in Idaho. Okay. So this woman happens to be from an ally country. Oh, wow. Interesting. So she's from an ally country, but she's talking about how she grew up with a dad who founded Hamas. We're going to see how true that is, what evidence we can find for that, and how she winds up marrying a man and living in Gaza who was Hamas, and how much they hate the United States. Folks, she's from an ally nation. Just wanted to throw that out there. An ally nation who, by the way, we just let a few weeks ago, has it even been a month since we let our true close ally Israel bomb Qatar while we were having a peace negotiation with members of Hamas. We let Israel get away with bombing Qatar, our ally Qatar, and now this woman from that country is telling us how evil Hamas is. So really, already just the situation here, anyone with critical thinking skills should be like, wait a minute, I'm watching a woman who you can Google. You won't find her on any other interviews. You won't even find her on a semi-reputable source like Fox News. This woman's not even on Fox News, folks. She's not even on Fox News. Even if she had been on Fox News before coming on CBN, I'd be like, all right, but this woman is only on CBN. She's from an ally nation, Qatar, and you can do a Google search of her and you're not going to find anything. So again, this is just, we're 58 seconds into this video, and hopefully I can get through this video.
We should kill all the Jewish, and even Jesus will come back and fighting with us, and he will break the cross and kill the pig, and the trees and the rock will call the Muslim and say, oh, Muslim, there is a Jewish behind me, come and kill. So it was crazy.
Wow. So your father was one of the founding members of Hamas. You were eventually married to a Hamas member inside Gaza. How did you come to know Jesus?
Oh, and we're going to be Googling her father's name. Like, I'm going to show you. We're going to Google it. If you don't want to, then just stay put, because as soon as she says it, we're Googling that shit. Oh, and by the way, her father was a founder of Hamas, one of the founders of Hamas. Okay, great.
Okay, I've been married for 13 years in Gaza, but it was between 2002, I moved to Gaza, and in 2012, I started having questioning, because I saw what Hamas doing in Gaza when they take on control. They said, like, we're coming here to make everyone equality, and they give people promises, and nothing happened. And they've been like, they said, we hate Fatah. Fatah is the organization was in control on Gaza before Hamas, and they asked people to give them their.
So what we've gotten from this so far is she was married to a guy. Again, no names yet, all right? I'm waiting for those names. But so far, what we're gathering is that she was married to a guy who she lived in Gaza with, and he was Hamas, apparently. This is what we've gathered so far. She votes, or I don't know if she mentioned that yet, but again, this is not my first time watching this, but she does mention at some point in this video that she voted for Hamas back in 2007, I guess. A lot of people did. I guess she came to regret that. But this is what we know of her. This is, I guess, her credentials.
Vote in the elections. And I give my vote to Hamas. I'm sorry for this, but I did this in 2007.
I had watched it before, folks. That's why I knew she was going to say that.
But they just make Gaza more worse, and they start killing the Palestinians. They start to make us feeling, if you are not belong to Hamas, you should be scared. But I keep thinking, and that time ISIS showing, and they've been killing a lot of people, Muslims people. And I feel like something wrong with this religion.
Of course, we have to talk about how Muslims are killing Muslim people. Folks, don't worry about the fact that the Israeli Defense Force, the IDF, whatever it stands for right now, has killed upwards of 90,000 Gazans or Palestinians. Don't worry about that. Just take this random woman's word, okay, that's only appearing as of right now on CBN network. Just only her word for it.
And, I just jumping, because I raised in Islam, I never been satisfied with God. I never been, I feel God will never be happy on me. I don't have any guarantee to.
Okay, folks, now she's going into her relationship with God and her religion. So, of course, that's what the channel needs to make it about. This is allegedly a Christian broadcasting network. CBN. So, of course, they're going to talk about how, how she encounters Jesus. Now she's going into how she never really felt comfortable with Islam, I guess. So this doesn't matter. Again, I could do this. I could get onto an interview, folks, and just randomly start talking about, oh, yeah, I used to be a Muslim, but then I stopped being a Muslim. I didn't like it. I felt it was bad. I lived in Palestine for a few years, but then I came back. I found Jesus once in a dream, and I changed. Those people are so evil. Go IDF. Go Israel. I mean, you realize anyone can do this. I can put anyone right now in front of this camera, in front of this green screen. I want everyone watching to really consider how easy it would be right now for me to sit here in front of this screen and interview someone else and have them give me a testimony of how they lived in another country for some time just because they happen to speak the language, and how they've completely had a conversion of heart, a conversion of faith, how they were touched by Jesus one night in a dream, and how where they used to live is just a horrible place. Think about how easy this is to do with someone you've got, a random person with no credentials. Just like myself, I'm not sitting here with credentials saying that you should believe me because I have any special credentials or because I've been to the Middle East. Folks, I'm just a fucking average Joe who works a 9 to 5, who's watching the CBN News Network and realizing what bullshit it is. I mean, I really just want you to wake up. Anyone who would watch this and believe it, just really start asking these questions to yourself. Start asking yourself, it's called critical thinking. Start doing the research on this woman. Really think about, okay, where can I find out this woman's credentials? She's telling me that she lived here and that she's seen these things. Why should I believe this? Why should I believe her over the thousands of other people right now that are speaking to us through the media, telling us, yo, the IDF is coming in here and they're destroying us. They're violating our rights. They're destroying our homes. They're taking our land. You got all these people giving that message, but why would I choose to believe this one woman who hasn't appeared on any other news shows, who's, as of right now, again, as of when I'm making this video, at the beginning of the video, I made it very clear that we can Google her and she's not on any other interviews. Okay, as of October 25th, 2025, at the moment I'm making this video. So, folks, really think to yourselves why you would believe this one testimony. You would believe this one Middle Eastern woman. I'm assuming she really is a Qatari and really is Middle Eastern. I'll give her that. But why is it that you'll believe this one Middle Eastern woman, but you won't believe the thousands of other Middle Eastern people that have made posts online and who have actually interviewed online? I really want you to consider why you're choosing her. Oh, she's on CBN and she converted to Christianity. Oh, so you can believe her then. It doesn't matter what her credentials are, right? We're just going to believe her. No, she's a Christian, so we can believe it. And then we just keep paying Israel money so they can keep fighting the war against Hamas. It makes perfect sense. We have a person right here, not a Palestinian, by the way. They didn't bring on a Palestinian, but we have a Qatari right here who's giving a testimony. God knows if it's true or not. So that's it. Shut up, guys. Just keep giving your money to Israel. Here's an Arab woman that's talking about her bad experience with Hamas. Oh, come on.
When they put me on my grave, there's a snake coming to make me suffering. And so Islam does not give you peace. And you're always scared something wrong will happen. Like, oh, I did this prayer. Maybe God didn't accept it from me. I have to do like more and more. So I start thinking, and there's someone, he's close to me. I don't want to mention his name because his safety. He told me
excuse me. You don't want to mention his name because of safety. Yet you're giving us your name on a camera interview that you're doing an on-camera interview. You gave us your name, and you're going to give us your father's name, who you say is a founder of Hamas. But for safety reasons, you will not give this other person's name. Just nope. You give your name, you'll give your dad's name. Don't give this person's name. Folks, again, critical thinking. Want you guys to think about this.
He become an atheist, and he asked me to.
Oh wait, what'd she say?
Become an atheist. I want to mention his name because his safety. He told me he become an atheist, and
he became an atheist. Wow, good. There we go. Okay, so this guy becomes an atheist. This is in the Middle East. I believe this is still in Gaza, according to her. And now, okay, cool. He becomes an atheist, and then what does he tell her to do?
He asked me to read the Quran without holiness, like a regular book. Because, the Quran is all about killing. It's all about Muhammad's story when he married his son, and he had a son. He adopted a son, and then he decided to marry his wife. So he said, like, Allah sent a verse in Quran, ask him, like, ask his son to divorce his wife, and Muhammad will take her. And so I feel like, okay, Quran is not make sense, and it will never be that God of Quran is the real God, because it's psychopath God and not.
Oh, right. The Quran makes no sense. It's just an evil, vicious religion with a psychopathic God. So I'll just start believing the Bible, because Yahweh has like a perfect track record. Yahweh's never been found guilty of things like, I don't know, genocide in the Old Testament. Yahweh didn't decide that we should kill the Canaanites, were they called? By the way, the Canaanites were the natives of Palestine. What's even more hilarious is that the Canaanites weren't they the natives of Palestine? Like, if you're not Palestinian, this woman's Qatari, but had she been an actual Palestinian, her ancestors would have been native Canaanites who were actually slaughtered by Yahweh. Yahweh commanded the ancient Israelites in the Bible, in the Hebrew Bible, in the Old Testament Christian Bible, in the Tanakh, which is the Hebrew Bible. It's actually on there that Yahweh commanded them to kill them. So, or commanded the ancient Israelites to kill the native Canaanites because he promised them the land. So, but that's not psychotic. Apparently that's not psychotic. Oh my gosh. There seems to be some kind of a pro-Semitic bias. Oh, it's psychotic when a Muslim deity does it. It's psychotic if we see that the God of the Quran wants to kill someone. Not psychotic if the Jewish God of the Old Testament wants to do it. Of course not. Because the Jews are God's chosen people. So that's not psychotic at all. And it's not anti-Semitic in any way, even though those Canaanites are actually Semites. The ancient Canaanites were Semites, and the modern day Canaanites, the Palestinian people, their descendants, also happen to be Semites. They speak Arabic, not Hebrew. It looks like what this woman did, this woman who we just can't find a trace of online, by the way, other than some Instagram posts that she comments on. But it looks like this woman just substituted one religion for another. And now CBN is broadcasting this like, oh, this is it. This is it, folks. Watch this, Christians of America. Watch this and weep. Come on.
Nothing makes sense for me in Quran. So I feel like, okay, I didn't believe there is no God. I didn't become an atheist, but I've been like praying every single day. God, if you exist, I want to know you. I want to meet you, because I know deep inside there is a God. I couldn't believe like this is, the universe, that everything. And when I was praying for God, like to heal, he healed my children, like they almost died. And I had something like, I know there is a God. And I started to pray like from 2012 till 2014. There was a war between Hamas and Israel. And I remember the IDF called my ex-husband, and they asked him to call my neighbors because they want to bomb their home. And he told him like, oh, no one is home, because Israel is caring for the civilians' life. They calling people before they bomb their houses. They are not killing the houses randomly.
Oh, how good. How good. I mean, that's awesome. Oh, I can rest assured now. They're not killing or bombing the houses randomly. I mean, and folks, those aren't my words. Those are her words. I mean, like, she just said that. I wish I would be the one I wish that were some joke or something, some twisted, morbid, macabre joke, but it's not. I mean, she's actually the one. You heard it. I haven't edited this. This isn't AI. I'm not some lefty who's like just doing AI. Folks, she really said that. Okay, I'm actually going to play that again because I almost can't believe she said it. I didn't catch this the first time I watched this.
Remember, the IDF called my ex-husband, and they asked him to call my neighbors.
So the IDF called her ex-husband, so they called her ex-husband, so her ex-husband could call her neighbors.
Because they want to bomb their home.
Oh, because they wanted to bomb their home. Like, folks, this is an actual video. So think of what this woman said. In what other scenario, in what situation would this be okay if it weren't Israel? It's like, Hey, it's the Israeli government. Is Josh there? Oh yeah, give me one sec. Josh is there. He's my husband. Okay, good. Your husband. Let's speak to your husband. Hey, is this Josh? Yeah, this is Josh. What's going on? Hey, we just wanted to let you know we're about to bomb and kill your neighbors. We don't have their number. I mean, sorry about that. Sorry to bother you, Josh. Do you mind? Can you let them know that we're about to bomb them, Josh? Okay, IDF. Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll just let them know. Do I tell? Oh, that's right. I'll tell them IDF called and said that they were going to bomb. Yeah. Hey, Josh, if you could do that for us, we'd be so appreciative. No problem. Hey, IDF, thank you so much. Not a problem. Shalom. Folks, you really just watched a video where a woman said, oh, the IDF was so polite. Before they bombed my neighbor, they called my husband so he could let them know. I mean, I wish I were making this up. I wish that she didn't say that.
And he told him oh, no one is home because Israel is caring for the civilians' life. They calling people before they bomb their houses.
Folks, he told them that they're not home because he didn't want them to kill his neighbors. What is who is someone really going to watch this and take this serious? Is someone really going to take this seriously? Seriously, I'm flabbergasted.
They are not killing the houses randomly. So in that night, they bombed our neighbor's house.
They're not killing the houses randomly. Thank goodness.
And it was so scary for me. I feel oh, I will die soon. So I've been crying a lot in that night. I said,
yeah. This woman that they bring on to talk about how bad Hamas is and how good Israel is actually guys, she's actually telling us how afraid she was of the IDF and how she thought she was going to die and how the IDF was calling her house to let them know that they're bombing and killing their neighbors. She told you this on camera. Guys, I'm not making this video up. This is a real thing. She's telling you her own words. I would be mind-boggled if anyone watches this video and then after watching this video, goes to sleep, puts their head on the pillow and goes, oh, the IDF, what a good moral army. Guys, it takes not even 30 seconds. It takes 16 seconds of critical thought to realize what's going on here. It takes 16 seconds of critical thinking to really just analyze what she said. I'm 5 minutes and 28 seconds into a 17.5-minute video, and it's this hard to get through.
God, if you exist, please, I want to know you. I want to call your name. I want you to save me. So on that night, I was dreaming, and I saw myself with my mom, and my mom passed away in 2005, and that was in 2014. I saw my mom, and we've been sitting in the balcony, and the moon was so big and come closer to us. And my mom asked me to look at the moon, and I saw Jesus' face coming out the moon, and he was speak to me in Arabic, and he said, "Ana Rab Yeshua," I'm the God Jesus. And he was talking to me. But
so far what we've got, her testimony is the IDF was calling her house because they were going to kill her neighbors. And before they killed her neighbors, they wanted to see if her husband could warn the neighbors that they were going to kill them. She was really afraid and living under fear because of the IDF, right? And then, she looked up into the moon and guess who she sees popping his head out of the moon? Jesus Christ of Nazareth. And she then decides she's a Christian. This is the story that we're hearing from this woman who, by the way, as of right now, has not been interviewed by anyone else.
What I'm remembering, he was say, "Inti binti ma tkhafi." You are my daughter. Don't be afraid. So I feel okay. When I woke up, I feel maybe it's just take a second, but I feel there is a moment. I feel there's a light in the room. Something.
Jesus is warning this woman and telling her, don't be afraid of the Israeli Defense Force who's killing your neighbors. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing I'm making this video because of how preoccupied I am with Palestinian lives, but it's almost impossible to keep a straight face when you're explaining this narrative to someone. Like, how could you tell this story to someone and keep a straight face? Oh yeah, and then the girl, she was so afraid because of all the bombs that the IDF was dropping on her neighbors. They were even calling her husband and telling her husband that they were going to kill their neighbors. And then she just like looks up, and then Jesus pops his head out of the moon and tells her, "Don't be afraid of the IDF's bombs. Repent and become a Christian, my dear." I mean, like, how could you tell someone that story and really not like reconsider your life? Like, I mean, just come on.
Being like, oh, this is real. So I never heard about Yeshua's name before because we call him Isa in Quran. I never been with the Christian people. Like my community is
Zionist Israelis scared the bejesus into the woman.
100% Islam. Like when I was in Qatar in the schools, it's 100% Islam. And like my activities was like going to the Islamic Center and memorization Quran. And I never met Christian people in my life to see like people come and told me about Jesus. No one told me about him before. But when I heard the name, I feel like it's a beautiful name and he's a beautiful God. And I feel peace inside my heart. It's like for the first time, I feel like someone's loved me. Like,
all right, so she's got a conversion story here. We either believe that she really saw Jesus coming out of the moon and he spoke to her. He actually spoke to her, like, I guess quite literally, like vocally, audibly spoke to her. Or we just believe she was having a vision, or it was just another dream like any other dream and she's just taking it a little bit too far. Or, of course, there's the possibility that she's lying. I'm not even going to get into what I believe about that, okay? But I am going to tell you, whichever one of those cases it may be, I definitely don't believe Jesus popped his ass out of a moon to talk to this woman, okay? Sorry.
oh, someone's loved me, because I never feel loved with my family. Like, because they are, I don't hate them. I love my family, but being Muslim, you don't have peace, because God is always mad about Muslims. God's always mad. So
yeah, the God of the Old Testament, aka Tanakh, aka Hebrew Bible, is also always mad. The God of the IDF is obviously always mad. Look at what the IDF's doing. For Christ's sake, the IDF was calling your husband, letting him know they were about to kill his neighbors. I mean, like, if anything, they're following a pretty angry God. Okay, sweetie?
yeah, I feel like someone's loved me. So I start to search about his name in Google, and I found a Christian page. It's Egyptian Christian. And I tried to, like, when I open this page, the first verse come to my face. It's love your enemies. When Jesus, I said, oh, who said love your enemies? Like in Quran said, like, we should kill all the Jewish, we should kill all the Christian, or make them paying jizya. Like, who us to love the enemies? Like, it's crazy, it's like, so I start to sending messages for this page, and the admin, I didn't know if she's a woman or a man till now, but I will say it's she, but she asked me to read the Bible, and she told me there's thousands of Muslims are now seeing Jesus in their dreams and converting to Christianity. She said, you are not the first one. I feel like, okay, that's cool, because I thought it's only me, when I start to think. And the funniest thing,
okay, so a lot of Christians are converting to, or excuse me, a lot of Muslims are converting to Christianity. Just so folks can know, there have always been, and I know a lot of people that watch CBN exclusively probably don't know this, but there have always been Christians in the Middle East. This is not a new thing. There's a big Coptic community in Egypt. Okay, you could just Google it. Okay, now they're still a minority in Egypt, and other Christians in Middle Eastern countries are a minority, because the predominant religion is Islam, okay? But there are Christians. So just because you might find it special that this one woman who grew up Muslim from Qatar, she's not Palestinian, by the way, she's Qatari, just because she had an experience and she didn't know about Christianity and she became a Christian, folks, there have always been Christians in the Middle East. There have always been Christians in Palestine, many of whom have suffered greatly at the hands of the IDF, greatly at the hands of the money that we as Americans, as quote-unquote Christian Americans, have sent the IDF. So, yeah, I'm sorry. If you're watching this and you're like, wow, a Middle Eastern woman who converted to Christianity, and this is hitting your heart like it's some special new thing, folks, just do a Google search. And look, I'm doing it in front of you. Like, Christianity in the Middle East. You don't even got to write the whole thing. Just do that and you can read all about it. Go to Wikipedia and look, I mean, if you don't believe the Wikipedia page itself, look at the source. There are sources. Sorry, I know there's glare on my glasses, but look, folks, I'm like teaching people that watch CBN how to do this. I don't know if maybe there's just really elderly folks who are just afraid of the computer and the interwebs, or if you're just someone who's just lives in a household and you have been made to feel bad if you didn't just go along with this narrative, so you're afraid to look shit up. But just go here, do a Google search, and just look at the sources if you don't believe it. Go to the bottom of the page. Just open something up. Islamism and the future of the Christians of the Middle East, right? Just open that up if you don't believe it. And you can actually find the sources, guys. Come on, man. It's regardless of what you believe or what point you're trying to make at this point, you could still just look stuff up and think critically yourselves. This isn't a special thing because a woman has in the Middle East, who's an Arab woman in the Middle East, has converted to Christianity. Christianity has always been there.
I've become a Christian and I saw Jesus. Like when I hear someone become a Christian, converting to Christian, I feel like, oh, you will go to hell definitely. This guy, so now.
Yeah, but you now as a Christian are being taught that Muslims are going to hell definitely. And Jews think that both Muslims and Christians are going to hell definitely.
So it's me, accepting Jesus in my life. And I start the journey with him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What an amazing, incredible testimony. I mean, wow. Praise God. Praise the risen King Yeshua. I had goosebumps. I'm trying not to cry hearing your testimony. That's so unbelievably powerful. We're going to have you back on for episode 1, 2, and 3, because you have just so much to share. Let me ask you a few more questions. You said your dad was one of the founding members of Hamas. What's your dad's name?
His name is Abu Ja'far.
Okay. Yes, I promised. As soon as, how do we spell this? If I recollect right from the first time I watched it, I don't believe they put it on the screen. I knew they said it, but Abu I'm thinking of Jafar, look, there's an Abu Jafar al-Mansur, member of the Abbasid Caliphate. I don't think her dad was a member of the Abbasid Caliphate, okay? So all my history buffs out there, pretty sure he wasn't, but I don't know if we're going to be able to spell this. But you know what we can do? Okay, hold on.
They call him Abu Ja'far. His real name is Muhammad Qawasmi, but because my oldest brother, his name is Ja'far.
Okay, we can do this. This is what I would recommend you do if you have to look something like this up. Mohammed, and then put her last name. I'm going to put her last name because she did say that this was his real name. So we'll put his name, we'll put both forms of his name into Google, and we're going to do a Google search. Database of registered Palestinian companies. So for some reason that came up. Let's do this. Hamas members. It says, it looks like there aren't many great matches for your search. So if we put Hamas members and then put Mohammed Kawazmi, Abu Jafar, what if we just put one of these names? Well, the only thing we get is Mohammed Abu Jafar. So it looks like I'm spelling it correctly. Or, well, I guess Mohammed has one M, the way that they're spelling it. Tried for years to bring Jews and Palestinians together. The irony in this is that I'm looking for an alleged Hamas member named Mohammed Abu Jafar, and then I like the first article that pulls up from the New York Times. Mohammed Abu Jafar tried for years to bring Jews and Palestinians together. But yes, if we Google Hamas Abu Jafar, maybe let's also do Mohammed Kawazmi with one M, because I think that's a little bit more accurate. Did we mean that? Yeah, nothing's coming up. Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, but it's missing this. So Palestinian general, so in 2014, General Intelligence in Ramallah arrested Abdul Rahman al-Jiz, a member of Hamas. Let's even take this article, okay? Even if we can see his name on here, I'll at least say, hey, if we can link his name to this article. So we're just going to do a control search. It's going to be Abu Jafar. No. Mohammed, what was his last? Okay, there's only one Mohammed on the page. So his name is not showing up in this article. Folks, there's no way for us to confirm that her dad was in Hamas. I mean, if I'm wrong, folks, again, you know the date, you know the time, if you're watching my full video. If I'm wrong about this, let me know. No, I'm just not, I'm not finding it. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Put in my comments. Show me the articles. Please, Miss... I do apologize. You have a beautiful name. But Miss Juman Al-Kawazmi, please respond to me. All right? Dude from CBN News, I don't even know your name. It's not as beautiful as this young lady's, though. But if I'm wrong, dude, tell me I'm wrong. Be like, hey, this is the news article, Mike. This is where her dad is. This is him being a member of Hamas and doing evil shit. Please, come on. Don't just shadow ban me on your channel. If you want me to believe and you want me to get other people to believe and to be a Christian and not to believe that this is just Israeli propaganda, come on, man. Do something for us to know. Do something for me to see that this is legit. And right now, there's just no evidence of what this woman's saying.
They called him Abu Ja'far al-Qawasmi.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, let me ask you this. When you were saved and Yeshua showed up to you and it transformed your life, I can feel the joy of the Lord resonating off of you. The Holy Spirit is strong inside of you, my friend. But when you were saved, and then you looked at your ex-husband who's a member of Hamas, your dad who's a member of Hamas in general, how did that change the way you view what's happening in Gaza?
Yeah, because what's happening in Gaza, it's all about Hamas. Hamas always is starting to make troubles. Like,
again, a Qatari woman who's alleging or who's claiming that her father was, didn't she say he helped found Hamas? But that her father was in Hamas, her husband was in Hamas. She even gives her father's name, can't find anything. Can't find her on here online either, by the way. So folks, we're listening to her, and now she's talking about how everything going on in the Middle East, it's Hamas's fault. Oh.
Being in peace, still intifada is happening. And we call I know I'm Palestinian. I have Palestinian ID. It's like, I still have my Palestinian ID. But I know the right for Jewish, it's their promised land. I read the Bible, and even in Quran, it's never mentioned Palestine. It's the land for Bani Israel, and they said, okay, it's our land, and we should kick all the Jewish. And I remember my grandma said she was living with her Jewish neighbor, and they've been living.
You see, as she's speaking, the article I'm searching, 0 search results on this one for the name she gave.
love and peace. Like we've been living peace, but when Hamas start to make troubles, and every time we have peace, and they start to send rockets, attack Israel with the rockets, so that's why Israel start to bombing. But before this, like nothing was happening. And I remember, like after the war in 2008, Emma said she was living with her Jewish neighbor, and they've been living love and peace. Like we've been living peace, but when Hamas start to make troubles, and every time we have peace, and they start to send rockets, attack Israel with the rockets, so that's why Israel start to bombing. But before this, like nothing was happening. And I remember.
Oh,
like,
that's
after
why
the war
Israel
in
started bombing.
2008, Israel sent money to rebuild Gaza, and they promised Gaza will be like a Singapore, but just let's have peace. But
They've destroyed Gaza before, guys. Her own words. This is insanity. So they've done this before. Oh my gosh.
doesn't want to have peace. They just want to kill and make people suffering and stay on control and having all the monies coming out from outside. And I remember, like, when my ex-husband was talking, he was not talking to me, he was talking like for his uncles and his friends, and he said, oh, now we are building a city under a city. So they took all the monies coming to rebuild Gaza, and they just built the tunnels, and there's a real city under a city. But they never built a shelter for people, for children. Never. No, there's no one shelter in Gaza. It's all about the tunnels. It's all for Hamas. They are hiding now, and they just let people to die and use the human and children like human shield. They doesn't.
Yeah, if they were Israelis, they would have built shelters for the Palestinian children, so that then when they bomb the Palestinian children at least would have somewhere to hide. I mean, come on, it's common decency, guys. It's just like she mentioned before, the Israelis, at least they called him to let him know that they're about to kill his neighbors.
Don't care for our life. They just care for their position and their power, and they just want to stay strong and they want to stay on control. But they doesn't care for our lives, unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to have you back on so many times. There's so much more to unpack, but maybe let me.
No, I hope you bring this woman back on.
Let's say,
please. This is going to be great if they keep bringing her back on and she still doesn't appear on any other news mediums. Like, come on, folks. Seriously.
There's someone watching this that comes from an Islamic background that's starting to question their faith, and or someone who has maybe views about Hamas that are just not true. What would be your encouragement? What would be something you'd want to say? What would be helpful? For example, when you were starting to struggle with your faith, what would have been helpful for someone to have said then? In other words, imagine again, someone's watching this video and they almost clicked on the video because they want to disagree with things or whatever it might be.
Yeah, it's so funny. They almost clicked on the video because they want to disagree with things or whatever it may be. It's like, motherfucker, you know that you shadow banned me, and you know I disagree with it, and you know that other people were starting to like my comments. Like, he knows that that's me, except I already disagree with this. What they don't realize is that I'm not a complete idiot. I stopped being a Christ-believing idiot years ago precisely because of shit like this. Precisely because of things like CBN. That's why I don't believe, folks. Precisely because of Israeli IDF influence in Christian, quote-unquote, Christian media. And then he shadow bans the comments. Folks, my comments were shadow banned. People, I'm never going to stop posting comments. Hopefully, if you're watching this, you feel just like me. You realize how horrible it is that they would shadow ban people and not let people really express themselves. Only the people that get on there to, oh yeah, we love it. God bless the people of Israel. Oh, see, this woman, this is how all Palestinians feel. Get the f out of there, bro. Come on, man. He knows exactly that people are going to be watching this to disagree with it. Because the world disagrees with it. Please.
What would you like to say to my friend here who's watching?
Okay, don't be afraid to think, to use your brain.
Oh, duh.
They are say as a fact, because we take
I'm
everything
not-
they are saying as a fact, but we should think, and you have to go to the history, the close history. Like, you have to read.
You mean like 1948 when the West, through Israel, invaded Palestine? Yes, we know the history. The reason the UN has deemed this a genocide isn't just because it started on October 7th a few years ago. It's because they know that there's a whole history to this. They know why people there are hating on the Israeli government. They know why people feel like they lost. People did lose their homes back in 1948. That's the history. We know that. The only people that don't want us to know that are the folks here at CBN that really think we're idiots and that we should just keep giving Israel money so they could keep expanding on native people's land in Palestine.
You have to open your mind, like, not because of our emotions, like, oh, Hamas is protecting Gaza, and no, they are not. Like, if I want to say, like, who's our enemy is Hamas. Hamas is evil. Hamas doesn't care about Palestinian. They doesn't care about.
So a Qatari, born and raised in Qatar, her own words, we already established that's over 1,000 miles from Palestine. It's on the Arabian Peninsula, is telling you, oh, Hamas is the problem. They're not helping the people of Palestine. Believe me on CBN. By the way, I've never appeared on any other news outlets, just this one, but just believe me. Come on, folks. Oh, be open-minded. I promise you, sister. I promise you I'm more open-minded than anything you're ever going to encounter within 50 miles of this news network. I promise you, sweetie, that I'm more open-minded. I've been open-minded. Trust me.
They just want to kill. They have this culture. Like, if we get killed, we are going to Jannah. We are enjoying the 72 virgins, and they are taking the children from 4 years. And
yep, every Palestinian believes this.
To bring them in the Quran memorization and start to learn them how to hate Israel and how to use the weapons. And believe me, from 4 and 5 years, they start to do this with the kids. And I know it's not easy, like when you're raised on something and you see your parents and all your family believe in this. But my advice, like, don't be scared to think. Don't be scared to make questions, because in Islam, you are not allowed to think and make questions. You should.
Okay, sweetie, in Christianity, you're not allowed to think and make questions. I know you meant to say ask questions, okay? But you, of course, what do you think? It's a religion. You think that CBN wants me asking questions? As soon as I started putting the comments on there that I had left, I'm getting shadow banned. They don't want me to see, they don't want anyone to see my comments. Okay, so they're being deceptive. They're being deceptive because I'm asking questions.
Just obey, but God give us this brain and give us the Holy Spirit to ask Him and to find a way.
Well, I tell you what, I've been to Israel and the Palestinian territories 30 times, and people always ask, what's the solution? How do we fix this? And I always say it's
I've been to Israel 30 times. It's like, this fool knows how many times he's been there. He's probably counting. He's probably got like on his wall these little like stickers like, oh, that was my third time. It's my fourth time. Or at least how many other, I'm sure he's been to other countries, okay? I'm not going to put it past him to have been to other missionary projects in other countries, other parts of the world. But how much attention and effort do you think he's given to people in other parts of the world? I mean, compared to how much attention he's given to people in Israel, how much money do you think he's given to people in other parts of the world versus how much money he's given to people in Israel? Come on, folks. Be real about that.
one word, it's one name, Yeshua, and you are a walking embodiment of that. I am overwhelmed.
Oh, you're a walking embodiment of that because you talk about how bad Islam is and how bad Hamas is. Oh, you're a walking embodiment of Jesus Christ. Oh, but no, God forbid a Christian actually starts to question why we're bombing Palestinians. Oh no, they're evil. Bad. Bah, you're not a walking embodiment of Christ. Well, because you care about the bodies of innocent Palestinian children? Oh, gosh. Scoff at that. Now, this woman talking about how evil her own culture is, that Arabs bad and Muslims are bad and they grew up hating everyone. She is a walking embodiment of Jesus Christ. Yes. And you're going to tell me that this station is not Israeli propaganda. Folks, please.
I again, I've had goosebumps this whole time. I'm so excited to see what God is going to do in and through you, my friend. You are an incredible person, and the joy is just resonating off you. But for my friend here who's watching, who maybe come from an Islamic background, God gave me one verse. And I'll close with this.
I really, really hope that what he just said about her doing things in Gaza, I so hope that comes to fruition. I really want to see her, this woman, I don't care about him, but I want to see this woman in other videos. I want to see her interviews with hey, who wouldn't want to interview her? Fox News should be jumping with joy if this woman's really someone who was married to Hamas and whose dad was in Hamas or partly founded Hamas. Are you kidding me? Even CNN, all of these stations would I would have her on my channel. I would have her right now on my channel. She can comment, even though we can't verify anything she's saying. Folks, just go to Google. Just look up her name, look up the name of her dad who she gave. I mean, we could verify, even though we are not able to verify anything on her, I would still gladly, again, I'm so sorry, I'm going to learn your name. It's a beautiful name, but Miss Juman Al-Khawazmi, please, I promise you, I would love to ask you questions. Trust me, I don't bite. I'm not this mean in person. The truth of I'm yelling because the way my mic is set up, you can see my mic's not close to my face, folks. Okay, my mic is down here. It's like I can't even really show you. I don't want to move the camera and mess it up. So then the green screen and yeah. So basically, I'm yelling only because I want to be loud enough to when I edit the video, I don't have to put the volume up so much that it affects the quality and all that. I promise you, if you come on this, if you let me interview and you come on this podcast, I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to make you feel bad. Okay, Miss Juman, I'm on your people's side. Like, I am telling you that I believe that the Arabs there in the Middle East in this situation they're being decimated by the West. And it's wrong at this point. I don't want to pay for that. Okay, so I'm not inviting you to make you feel bad. Quite the contrary, as someone who is like me, born and raised a Christian, with Jewish heritage, by the way, with verifiable Jewish heritage in my DNA, okay? Ironically enough. But I can guarantee you, as someone who was actually born religiously a Christian, right? I'm not going to bring you on here to insult you. You can come on the show and I'm going to just ask you questions. And if you really experience this and you really have a message that the IDF is good and that we should really be funding the IDF, that's really what we should be talking about, then yeah, I would love to have you on and to have a civilized debate and talk about that, okay? But right now, it doesn't seem, I'm not convinced after watching this that we should still, as especially American Christians out there, should still be giving their hard-earned tax dollars to the IDF, who has been accused multiple times now by the UN of genocide. Okay, I don't think it's the Christian thing to do. I'm not convinced even by this lady's testimony that Jesus Christ himself would be out there right now in the Middle East holding an Israeli weapon and shooting and going, oh yeah, but I mean, they're Hamas, so Hamas hides behind kids. Like, I have to shoot the kid. Jesus wouldn't do that, folks. Jesus would not do that. And if you're a Christian, you know that in your heart. I don't even have to be a Christian anymore to know Jesus wouldn't fucking do that. Okay, so stop. Don't give me she's the embodiment of Christianity. No. That's not the embodiment. Hating Islam and making people think that they should be funding genocide by the IDF, by a non-Christian a foreign nation, is not the embodiment of Christ. This is Israeli propaganda.
Give me one verse, and I'll close with this. In Islam and Islamic tradition, if you doubt, if you question, it's a bad thing, right? But what happens when Thomas, a disciple of Jesus, doubts, has questions, right? And Thomas says this. He said to them, unless I see the nail marks in his hands and put my fingers where the nails were and put my hand into his side, I will not believe. This is John 20 verses 25 and 26. A week later, his disciples were in the house again, and Thomas was with them. Though the doors were locked, Jesus came and stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here, see my hands, reach out your hand and put it in my side. Stop doubting and believe." Oh my goodness.
All right, folks. So the guy who believes we should be sending tax dollars to fund a non-Christian foreign military, been accused by the UN of genocide, is now quoting the gospel. Think about that. He's quoting the gospel and acting as if though right now Jesus would just be sitting in there in the room with him, just smiling and just in utter agreement with him. Jesus would just be praying with him, and they would both be just gloriously enraptured in this loving moment. Folks, please.
I want you to encourage you that yes, Jesus of Nazareth really was crucified. He really did die on that cross.
This guy's going to tell me about Jesus.
The third day, he rose again to set us free from sin and death. This is not just my belief. This is the truth. And I want to encourage you that I know that Yeshua is pulling on your heartstrings right now. Let him in, because he is life, and he has come to give you life and give you joy and give you freedom, exactly like you, my friend here.
And I do believe Jesus loves the Muslims. He loves us so much. He wants us to be.
He just doesn't love them as much as the Israelis. This channel, the CBN, it seems, in my opinion, that they're making the case that Jesus loves Muslims. He may even kind of sort of love Hamas members and other natives of the area, but he just really, really loves European Israeli adherents of Judaism more. That's all. He loves them more than he loves Arabs and Muslims in general. So it's not that Jesus doesn't love them. He just loves the non-Christian, again, European adherents of Judaism more than he loves you all. That's all.
Free of this fear of this. He wants to set us free. We don't have to be afraid anymore. We should just put our eyes on Jesus and believe he is the way.
And funnily enough, what was the thing she said she was afraid of earlier in the video? Oh, that's right. She was afraid when the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, was calling her husband to let them know they were going to murder her neighbors. The only thing she was afraid of before converting to Christianity was the IDF, folks. In this video, she told you that. Come on, man. All right, folks, you saw it yourself. I'm not making this up. I couldn't make this up. I couldn't write this in a book. I'm onto something here. This CBN network, if I were you guys and you're like me and you're someone who is really starting to get tired of having to pay for a foreign war and for murders abroad that benefit us, just not even in the slightest, even if it did benefit us financially, I wouldn't want to pay for it. I'm sure some people are getting their palms greased. It's benefiting our politicians, obviously, all that AIPAC money they're receiving. So yeah, this is benefiting a few people at the top in my country. But if you're like me and you think it's evil, I wouldn't take money at all at this point for all of the murder that these people are committing. I'm done with it. And if you feel like me and you realize that CBN is full of shit and it's nothing but Israeli propaganda, come on, man, give me a like, subscribe. I'm going to be putting a lot more videos out, okay? And let's keep doing some research on Juwam al-Khawazmi, because honestly, if this is really her story and this is true, my heart goes out to her and I'm genuinely interested in hearing more about her story. But as things stand right now, I will admit, I personally don't believe this story. So please, prove me wrong, please. My heart might go out to you, but with the evidence as is, sorry, I'm going to need a little bit more evidence to believe you. So anyway, folks, it was a pleasure. Stay safe, and you're going to be hearing more from me. Hopefully we hear more from these folks. So stay safe.